All right, hello everyone.
That
Welcome.
didn't happen.
Thank you for attending the UCD Admitted Student event. We're going to get started in just a minute, but while we wait for everyone to join the room, we're going to watch a short video just to give you an introduction and give everyone time to log in. You'll know this is a meeting format, so later in the presentation, you'll be able to unmute yourself and chat and talk to everyone. But for now, if you can mute yourself and you can stay camera off if you like, that'd be great.
Where do you want to go in this great big world of ours? Located in Europe's most vibrant city, University College Dublin is Ireland's global university, ranked within the top 1% of higher education institutions worldwide, where over 30,000 students gather to listen, to learn, to contribute, discovering where their ambition might take them. Led by lecturers, professors, and mentors that are amongst the best in their fields, rising to the future and shaping the world for the better of everyone. Join over 8,000 international students studying at UCD as you journey towards your future. UCD, rising to the future.
All right. Well, wonderful. Welcome, everyone. Again, thank you for joining us. So it's wonderful to have everyone here. We've got a great crowd here and a great afternoon or evening plan for you, depending on where you are. We have some of our great students joining us all the way from Dublin that are here to talk about their experiences. And we have our incredible staff in the North America Global Center that are here to give you some advice and next steps. Now that you have an offer to study at UCD, where do you go from here? And I know there's a lot of thoughts and questions and feelings and a lot of excitement and a lot of nervousness probably for all of you students, families, parents that are here. So we're here to kind of help let you know what to expect next as we go into spring and think about where we're going. And you can rest assured that you have a great team to support you. So we have staff members across the country that work with all students from North America. We have a great team that's been here for a long time supporting students in their journey from North America over to Dublin, whether you grew up going to Dublin and Ireland every summer, or whether you've never been there and your first time will be for orientation in September. We're here to support you with all those questions. So I'm based in Chicago. I'm the senior admissions officer. So I work with students and families as they have questions around admissions policies, practices, procedures. And I've been with UCD for 8 years and have loved every second of it. And no better place in the world to be than Dublin. And second best place in the world is Chicago. So I'm lucky all around. So we're going to give our staff a chance to introduce themselves and you can learn a little bit more about them.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chelsea Weaver. I am based in Seattle, Washington, and I am the Western Regional Representative. I see some friendly, familiar names in the room. So thank you all so much for being here. I'm super excited. I love working for UCD. I love being based in Seattle. Dublin is very much my heart home. I had the pleasure of doing my master's degree in Dublin and living in Ireland for years. So it is an honor to be here today and to continue this really exciting conversation.
Hey everyone, I'm Kendall Hook. I am the regional representative for the Mid-Atlantic region and the southeastern states. I am based in Nashville, Tennessee. I too see a lot of familiar names in this room, so very happy to see everyone here. And I am actually in Dublin now. I've been here for the week welcoming US counselors. So I have gotten quite my fill of chicken fillet rolls from the Centra on campus. So if you don't know what those are, you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you get to Dublin and treat yourself to one. Yeah, thank you all for being here today.
Hi everyone, I am Bridie Troy. I am based in Chicago and I cover the Midwestern mountain regions of the US. So excited you are all here today. I've been with UCD for 3 years and I've loved every minute of it. It's a really great school absolutely love Ireland. My favorite thing about Ireland is the people. Everyone is just so nice there. Really excited to welcome you all to campus and to help you learn a little bit more about UCD.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carly Harward. I am the Northeast Regional Representative. I am based in New York. I'm based in the New York area, and I work with students from the Northeast of the US and then Ontario over in Canada. I actually went to UCD myself for graduate school, so I'm a UCD alum, very proud. And not to sound dramatic, but Ireland literally changed the course of my life. So big Ireland fan over here, happy to answer any questions you have about what it's like living abroad or going to UCD as a student or anything like that.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. So now you can see you have an incredible team here to support you as you think about going over to Dublin. And for wherever you live in North America, you have a dedicated regional rep that is your source for whatever questions or concerns you have as you explore your opportunities at UCD. And they're a great resource, and they've been through this so many times with so many students that they can help you with whatever questions that you have. You'll have the chance later on at the end of the presentation. We're going to have breakout rooms for each region. We'll have a map to remind you what region you're in if you don't remember. So you can talk to Bridie or Chelsea or Carly or Kendall and some of our excellent students we have here about whatever questions you have. And you'll also be able to connect with other students while we're all in the same Zoom meeting together. So like I said at the top, this is in a meeting format. So later on when we get to the breakout rooms, you can unmute yourself and share your video if you're comfortable so you can connect with each other. For now, if you can make sure to keep yourself muted. If you have any questions as we go through, feel free to pop those in the chat. And as we go, we'll explain what to expect next. So you all have offers to study at UCD, but if you're still a little confused or need a little bit of background of who we are and what we're all about, this is kind of your breakdown. So University College Dublin is Ireland's global university. We have about 33,000 students, and we're based in the south suburbs of Dublin. So if you've never been to Dublin before, or if you have, but only went to Temple Bar and the Guinness Storehouse, this is kind of an overview of what the Dublin area looks like. So we're in the south suburbs, as I said. You can see UCD pointed out right here. Stone's throw from Dublin Bay and the Irish Sea. You can see the water from some of the residences' windows. And then we have a beautiful campus, a Parkland campus, which is a pretty quick bus ride away from downtown Dublin. You'll see the airport is up towards the top of the map, just off the map. So we're really close to the airport with a direct bus that gets you between the airport and campus. We are a very diverse place. We have about 9,000 international students from 152 countries. So it's students from all over the world, though it's still an Irish university with a great Irish culture and campus connection there. And then at any time, we may have around 2,000 North American students across our undergraduate, graduate, and study abroad programs, which is just the right amount. It's enough Americans to give you a taste of home and a feel for American culture. We have a great Thanksgiving and Super Bowl party, but it's not too many Americans. So it still feels like a very Irish place with a great connection to Ireland. And then this is our excellent campus. So if you've had the chance to visit, or if you're planning a visit, you'll be able to see this in person. But it is a great campus area. It kind of reminds a lot of students of an American college campus where everything is right there for you. So you can see all the academic buildings are right in the center around these two ponds that we have. All the residences are right next to all of them. So if you live in, say, Ashfield, you can wake up 5 minutes before your commerce classes and probably be in class on time. And then we have great amenities and great facilities around campus to help support you. So I'll stop talking there and I'll pass it over to Ella Cheney. She's one of our current students, and she's going to tell you a little bit about why she chose UCD and what her experience is like coming here.
Hi guys, I'm Ella. I'm a first year from Washington, D.C. I'm studying sustainability, and exactly 1 year ago, I was in all of your shoes. So congratulations, first of all, on having an offer to UCD. I honestly advocate that you all come here because it's incredible. But I'll talk a little bit about why I chose UCD when I was in your position a year ago. So I chose to study in Europe specifically first because I wanted a lot of the connections that Europe had, and I knew I wanted to travel a lot. And I can guarantee you can travel a lot when you're here. Just this year alone, I've been to Ibiza in Spain. I've been to London. I've been to Oslo, Norway. I'm going to Austria and Italy next week. So there's like a lot of opportunities to kind of get to see a lot of Europe, even if you're in Dublin alone, which is the wonderful part of being in an international city like Dublin. And I hadn't really heard of UCD until I just kind of started doing research. But the more that I looked into it, the more that I fell in love with it. And if you're like me, I had never been to Dublin until I got into UCD. And then I was lucky enough to come here and tour it. And I fell in love all over again when I stepped on campus. The campus is really special in that it feels very similar to a US campus, I would say. It's very kind of open. It has that very like traditional campus feel that like when you come home at night from the city or I don't know, just being out, it feels like you're kind of coming home rather than being still in the city, which I really appreciate. And it's very modern too, since they moved in the 1950s. And I don't know, it feels very kind of new and very progressive, which is another great thing that I loved about my program and sustainability. Sustainability is it's a 3-year-old course, but it's a 4-year program. So no one has actually graduated from sustainability, which is very interesting because we're very much pioneering it. And the school has been very, very good about asking for our feedback on the program and kind of adjusting it to what they feel like the students need and like figuring out the best way to approach it. And it's really cool because no other school that I looked at offered something similar to that, I guess. The closest would be environmental science or environmental engineering that I saw. And those were very common in really traditional schools across England, or like the UK. I think a lot of them were very kind of set in their roots in traditional studies like philosophy or history or politics or English, and a lot of wonderful things to study, but not exactly what I was looking for. And I think UCD offered a lot of very modern, very forward-thinking programs. And I see a lot of that in a lot of what other people are studying too. So I personally love it. And there's always so much happening on campus. Just 2 of the things you're looking at right now are my friends and I did a little Thanksgiving dinner ourselves. So we got together and we just cooked and celebrated Thanksgiving, and we just shared traditions that we had within our families and tried to do those all together. And then it snowed for the first time in 4 years in Dublin. And so everyone went outside and had a big snow fight. And UCD puts up like Christmas trees around the holidays around campus. So I don't know, there's just a really happy feeling with all these students because we're all just kind of figuring out how to be adults together, which is true anywhere you go. But when you move to another country, there's a lot to figure out, and having that kind of camaraderie of everyone being together and figuring that out together is just really special and really unique to UCD. So yeah, I definitely encourage you all to come. And if any of you guys would have other questions, again, I'll be here at the end of the meeting. So best of luck to you all, and I hope to speak to you again.
Great. Thanks so much, Ella. So I know something that is at the top of everyone's mind is accommodation and what life in Dublin would be like. So at UCD, we have on-campus accommodation available. It's single room accommodation. It is apartment style, complete with a living area and kitchen. Sometimes you get your own bathroom as well, not always. And like I said, it is apartment style. So one thing that's going to differ is dining plans or meal plans. They're not going to be as common as you would find in the US. So we do have small kitchens available in our apartments, and then a grocery store on campus as well, where students are able to go and get small items here and there to prepare their own meals. And then there's larger grocery stores not too far from the area. On campus as well, we also have residence life that helps foster a sense of community. And then aside from the grocery store, we have different restaurants and laundry facilities as well. So with housing, just so you are all aware, our housing application has not yet opened. At this time, we do not have the exact date of when that process will open. However, for undergraduate first year non-EU students, so students from the US or Canada who are coming into a non-clinical program, we can guarantee on-campus accommodation. However, you must accept your offer and pay the deposit by May 1 deadline to be eligible for this. So booking will begin at some point in the spring. You'll get emails directly to the email account on your SysWeb with further updates. So just make sure that that's an account that you are able to continue to have access to and are checking frequently as well to stay on top of that. So with life on campus, like I said, I went to UCD myself. There's over 130 different clubs and societies on campus, and I think that this is just such a great way to get involved and meet new people. I was heavily involved in a few societies and still am in contact with those friends that I met there today. The Students and Sports Center is such a hub for student activity on campus. I like to think that the campus is separated into 3 different parts. So you have residences, and then in the middle, you kind of have all of your academic buildings. And then to the left, you have all of your sports and student centers as well. On this kind of sport and student center side, we have restaurants, cafes, bookshops. There's also a bike shop on campus, a barber shop, post office, grocery store on campus. Like I said, a lot going on. So kind of a lot of what you would need, you would be able to find on campus. But if not, there's 3 bus stops that can get you to the city center quite quickly by bus, usually within 20 to 30 minutes or so. And then also we have our UCD Global Lounge, which is the Center for Internationalization on campus. So an opportunity for all international students, not just US students, to connect as well. So now to kind of get a current student perspective, I'm going to hand it back to Ella so she can talk a little bit about what residences and life on campus, sports and societies are like. So Ella, if you don't mind.
Yes, of course. So I'm back. Living on campus, I'm currently living in one of the residence halls, Ashfield, which I believe is the 2nd newest. The Village, I believe, was completed just last year. But I personally love it. I'm living currently with 1 other American, a Korean student, and 3 Irish students. We range from 1st to 3rd year students, so I get a lot of different perspective and even guidance from students who are older than me. They're all really nice and really accommodating, and they're also all studying very different things. So that's really fun to kind of be able to come home and just kind of hear about what they're learning about. And because we do get to choose a few different classes every semester, if I hear about one of their classes and I'm like interested in it, I can always take it, which is really fun. So the residences are a great way to kind of just meet a lot of different people, especially in the Village, like reception. They have a lot of different great places to gather and just kind of talk to people. And if you have a break between classes, it's really nice to come home and get a snack or take a nap. So I personally really like it. And then just living on campus in general, again, it's super convenient to kind of get in and around campus on short notice. And you have access to all the amazing things that we just talked about, such as like the gym and different like libraries and facilities. In terms of societies, on your first week of classes here, you'll have what's called a freshers fair or a freshers week, where they set up a huge tent and all the different societies have a different booth and a stand, and they'll try to promote it. And you can join however many you want. And it's really just a great way to meet a lot of different people, to kind of, I don't know, draw on different passions you may have, but not be studying, and just kind of get involved in any way you can. So I joined the International Student Society, which does a lot of events for international students. They celebrate a lot of different holidays, and just have fun of, I don't know, random events going on all the time. I also joined the Women Plus in STEM Society. I spontaneously joined the trampoline team because why would I not? So I don't know. I know my friend is in the Harry Potter Society. I joined a society dedicated to volunteering overseas, and there's so many more. So that's a really, really great way to meet people. And if you don't fall in love with it, that's okay. There's no pressure to, but you can also fall in love with it and try to be on the committee for that society and get really good experience that way and start organizing events. So UCD is really, really good about trying to get people to be involved on campus and also to find people with similar interests to you in such a huge campus and get involved in any way you can. So you never feel alone on this campus. That is one thing I will always say about UCD. You never feel alone. So I highly recommend joining as many societies as you're interested in and just meeting anyone you can.
Great. Hey, everybody. So as we get closer to that May 1 decision date, I'm sure funding your degree is something that's on a lot of your minds. You can see your tuition listed on your offer letter. That tuition is locked in. So for all of our non-clinical programs, which I'm pretty sure is everybody here today, that tuition will not be increased on you year on year. So you know exactly what you can be expected to pay every single year of your degree. You will also see if you have received a scholarship. This will be listed on your offer letter, so you can see exactly how much is there. There are a couple different college-specific scholarships that are still open for application, specifically in engineering and architecture. That is an application that is open, so you can apply to that as well. I strongly suggest if you have any pending ACT or SAT grades, submit those to us, and they could increase your scholarship, which would be pretty good, right? If you can get a little bit of extra money there. So definitely submit any extra test scores that you have to us. And remember that UCD will not ever use a test score against you. So if you send us a test score and it's not as good as maybe one you did in the past, we will not take away a scholarship from you because of that. We do accept U.S. financial aid, as I'm sure you are aware. We are on the FAFSA, so we accept very similar loans as you might use at a U.S. school. So we accept direct loans. So these are subsidized and unsubsidized loans, and Parent Plus loans. So this is really important if you're planning on using student loans to pay for your degree at UCD. I really suggest submitting the FAFSA as soon as possible. Make sure that you have used UCD's school code, which is G10188, when you submit the FAFSA, and that will ensure that we receive your student aid report, your financial aid information, so that we can complete a cost of attendance for you, which will tell you how much that you can borrow. I know many of you have already submitted your FAFSA, and that is great. We have not yet started sending out these cost of attendance letters. So if you've submitted your FAFSA already and you're wondering why you haven't heard back from us, that is why. Don't worry. You will be getting it soon. We will be sending out those letters within this next month. We also accept private loans. So if for whatever reason you cannot use a Parent Plus loan, maybe you're not eligible for one, you can use a private loan as well. UCD does not recommend any specific provider, but in the past we have had students use Sallie Mae or Ernest Navient to help fund their degree. I would like to know that while you're submitting the FAFSA, UCD cannot accept Pell Grants. So even though you might see a Pell Grant listed on your student aid report after you submit the FAFSA, it is really important for you to know that you will not be able to use that grant money at an international university. This is not a UCD policy, so we can't change it, unfortunately. The U.S. financial aid application will open on SysWeb in April. You can complete this using the cost of attendance letter that we will send you this month if you've already submitted your FAFSA. And if you have not yet submitted your FAFSA, you can expect the cost of attendance letter to be sent to you from our federal aid office within 5 to 6 weeks of submitting your FAFSA. So I really suggest submit your FAFSA as soon as possible, just so you can get a start on this. As I said, the financial aid application will open on SysWeb in April, and you have until July 31st to submit that application. Definitely reach out to us if you need any help with that. We also have a federal aid brochure that provides you a step-by-step guide to completing the application. All of you should have received a link to that, but if not, reach out to us. We're happy to send it back to you. We will be having a webinar next week about how to use financial aid at UCD. So if you are able to attend live, that's great. There will be about a 20-25-minute presentation followed by a live question and answer section. If you're not able to attend live, that's okay. We will be recording the presentation part and sharing it with all of our incoming students in the next couple months. I would like to make a note on your scholarships as well as your financial aid. When you receive your scholarship at UCD, you will receive the entire amount in September or October. But when you receive your financial aid loans, you will be receiving them in two parts. So 50% in September, 50% in January. You might not receive your first disbursement until mid-January. So I strongly recommend budgeting to make sure that you have enough to live on until you get that first disbursement in January. Great. Wonderful. So I know that many of you have received multiple offers for different courses. And as we get closer to this May 1st decision date, it's really important to start narrowing down to your top program, to your top offer. And I strongly suggest that you research each of your offers, each of these courses, to figure out which major is perfect for you. You can reach out to us. That is what we are here for, to learn more about your specific offers, to learn more about maybe the specific scholarships that go with each one, or to just learn more about the courses. If there are any offers that you have to different courses that you are 100% not considering anymore, maybe you have an offer to engineering as well as one to English, and you know that you're going to accept the English offer, please go in and not accept any offer that you are 100% not considering, so that room can be made for other students to receive an offer. Of course, if you're still deciding between different offers, please do not feel pressured to make a decision before that May 1st deadline. There will be a few college-specific webinars coming up, which can give you a better idea of what to expect in your chosen course. So as I said, you do have until May 1st to accept your offer and pay your deposit. And each of us here, each of the 4 regional reps, are happy to meet with you one-on-one and answer any questions that you might have about the different courses. So great. I will now pass it over to another current student, Olivia Metz. She is in her 2nd year at UCD, and she is from Washington. So for all of our West Coast students joining us, Olivia is from your part of the country.
Hey guys, as you said, my name is Olivia Metz, and I am a 2nd year, and I'm going to talk to you guys just a little bit about like the academics here, most importantly kind of the key differences between academics here and academics in the US, maybe what you've heard from friends or researched on your own. So I think one of the biggest things that I remember when I was in your shoes is that there are no prerequisite courses. So if I'm going into commerce, I didn't have to take any Gen Ed Science, Gen Ed English, nothing like that. That's kind of I really enjoyed that because I'm going straight into what I want to do. For other people, you can choose electives. So it's not, you don't get thrust straight forward into your degree. If you want some options to kind of explore outside of what you're doing, get to see other colleges, we do have electives in my program specifically. I'm liberal arts and sciences commerce. So I am going into my 3rd year, so I will be completely commerce by next year. But my first 2 years, I've gotten the option to have more electives than the average Irish person, or if you go straight into your degree. There's a lot of benefits with this. One namely is that after the 2nd year, I'm having enough credits to have 2 structured electives. Structured electives is the term, basically, it's kind of like a minor. So we'll go on my transcripts at the end of the year. You only need a couple of credits for these. They're really interesting. You can choose for a whole list of classes. My specific ones, I am doing history and social justice. So because of this, I get to go on a lot in different buildings. I kind of have a more well-rounded approach, and it has helped me in my commerce degree, especially with the social justice aspect. I'm able to tie in a lot of them together. Other things about academics is that the curriculum and the course structure is very different from what you would have experienced in high school and what you would experience in the US colleges as well. I did the IB program in high school, so I thought it would be sort of similar because it is an internationally recognized high school program. It's not. So basically how it works here is that it's a lot less homework based. I have a lot of free time to do in between classes. I go to the city just for a coffee sometimes on my off days. So I definitely have a lot of day-to-day free time because they're not doing those continuous assessments. And even if they are, I don't have hours of homework a night. It's very, very nice. However, that does mean that there is a lot more emphasis and a lot more percentage of your grade going to exams. So it, again, depends class to class. But usually the final exam, mine have been anywhere from 40 to 80% of my final grade. And then the other ones are either like a group project in the middle of the semester, like for midterms, that's what I'm going through right now. Those are usually worth like 10, 20 kind of things, but it's still a huge chunk of your grade. So one thing that I really had to adjust to, I didn't know this before I came here. I was not self-motivated enough to study and use my time as how I should in the first semester because I was kind of taken aback. I wasn't used to thinking about it like that. But you kind of develop, and I'm telling you guys, because I wish somebody told me, it's just you kind of have to change the way you study. Now, as I've gotten used to it, it's very easy to settle into. I really, really appreciate this more because I'm able to go see other parts of the country for the weekend. I don't have hours upon homework. It's very freeing, but you also have to be very self-sufficient and you have to have that discipline to actually study for yourself. Any other questions about academics? It really, really does depend between the two. I really enjoy the classes I'm doing. There's a lot of like real world examples, I guess. So I was able to apply what I was learning in one class into another class. An example of this is I had a business simulation in my very first semester of my first year, where I was taking applications of how to run a business, and I was applying that with a team, and it was very fun. There was like a competition within the class to see who could do the best. I feel like I'm getting what I should know out of my degree and not taking classes that I will not use in the future. If you want to know more about specifically the liberal arts track, they have my email. I'm going to be in breakout rooms, and I'm happy to answer anything else you have about that.
All right, we are so happy that you all are here tonight for this virtual info session. This is a great session, particularly for information dissemination, as well as a chance to ask current students questions, ask questions of us as well. But this is not the only event that we're going to be having this spring. So as Bridie mentioned, there'll be lots of Fed Aid webinars. We'll definitely be in touch. But most importantly, we also have events in person this spring. So over the course of about a month, we'll have 20 in-person events around the country. Some of these events will be bigger than others, depending on the city that we're in. But the point of these is to connect with each other. Students, you can connect with each other with other offer holders in your area. Family members, you too can come to these events as well. For some of the bigger events, we will have staff members. So we will have staff members from Dublin in some of the larger events like Seattle, San Francisco, Chicago, Boston, New York, DC, etc. But some of them will be smaller as well. So the smaller ones, definitely more intimate, more casual setting, but really this is just to connect with one another, ask any outstanding questions that you have, really so you have all the information necessary to make an informed decision by May 1, but then you also come away with possibly a new friend from your area that you also, you just weren't sure they were interested in going abroad as well. So forming those connections is really important. So we highly encourage you to attend one of these in-person meet and greets if you can. I know all regional reps have sent an email out to everybody with the links and the dates to register. So please register as soon as possible so we can get an accurate count of who's coming. We sent it out a couple of weeks ago. So just go back through your email, take a look, check your spam folder, but we will send it out again to you all as well. So just be sure to register so we have an accurate count. This is an event for both undergrad and postgrads as well. We also have campus tours. So if you cannot make an in-person event or you can't fly over to Dublin, we have a really great virtual tour available on our website. It's an immersive 3D campus tour. So check it out. It's a really great opportunity to navigate around campus and see where all the buildings are, especially if you have multiple programs you're admitted to. You can see where the classes are in relation to residence halls, etc. But we also have in-person tours. So if you find yourself over the coming weeks, especially during spring break, if you find yourself over in Ireland, please do come to campus. We will have campus tours available during the weekdays during term, so up through May 1st. Register early for these tours. If you know that you're coming to campus, please email northamerica@ucd.ie with your travel plans as soon as possible. With the spring break weeks, we get a lot of visitors and some tours reach capacity. So the earlier we know your travel plans, the better. So please let us know as soon as you plan on coming over. And then I will hand it over to my colleague, Chelsea Weaver.
Thank you so much, Kendall. Just making sure my camera's working, we're all good. Okay, so you have an offer to attend UCD. You might have multiple offers to attend UCD. What is the next step? Okay, so once you've decided that you'd like to accept one of your offers to UCD, you will log into your SysWeb portal, your UCD account. You'll choose the program that you'd like to accept, and you will literally click accept. And then you'll pay your tuition deposit, which for non-clinical programs, so for all of you, is €500, okay? And then again, as Bridie said earlier in the presentation, we'd like to remind you to please update your other offers to not accept, in addition to accepting your chosen offer. Just so, because a lot of our programs have actually reached capacity this year at this point. So we're operating some wait lists for some of the programs that you have offers to. So once you have decided, you know what, I'm really not considering this course anymore, then we do ask you to not accept those offers. But again, no pressure. You do have until May 1st to make your final decision. And we are really proud to be able to go on the American timeline, or the North American timeline, to be able to make this a little bit more seamless and less stressful for you. And then after you accept your offer, there's no rush to do this, but you will need to send your final transcripts, which need to be received directly from your school or schools, and then any test scores that you have, which need to be official and sent directly from College Board or ACT, etc. Over the summer to North America at ucd.ie. Again, there's no major rush. Really, the deadline for this is like August 1st. But the sooner you do it, then we can remove any conditions from your offer. And then thinking ahead, so for after you've decided to accept your offer, which is, this is a very, very exciting time. And this is why we're so glad to be here today to pass on some information. We're really hoping to meet all of you, if not most of you, at some of our in-person events, because that's just further opportunity to continue this conversation and answer your burning questions and give you a better sense of if UCD is the right fit for you. So thinking ahead, if you have a US or Canadian passport, you do not need a visa to study in Ireland. So this is kind of the biggest question we receive, that students and families almost don't believe us when we say this. But we can assure you, you do not need to do any of the stressful visa paperwork ahead of traveling to Ireland. So that saves a lot of time and stress, okay? One thing you need to do is double check that your passport is valid. So if you don't have a passport yet, you'll want to start applying for that as soon as possible. So that way you don't have to pay any expediting fees. And also, if you do have your passport, just make sure that it is valid for at least the next couple years. So you can get on that now and renew it if you need to. We will be hosting a bunch of pre-arrival summer webinars. Information on this has not gone out yet. It will go out probably sometime in early to mid-May. So information will be coming from our office and our team to you throughout the summer. So we're never going to leave you completely in the dark, okay? So this is not the only virtual webinar that we're going to be hosting. There's packing tips on our offer holder website, but we'll also be following up with that information. We definitely encourage you to attend the mandatory September orientation, and orientation kind of happens over the course of a couple weeks. There's orientation for all UCD students, orientation for international students, and then orientation for your specific course or program as well. Registering for classes, this is another big question we get. And this is going to happen on a much later timeline than any of your North American peers. So peers who are accepting an offer to a US or Canadian college or university, they might be registering for classes right now or as early as spring. You will not be registering for classes in UCD until late August or early September. But do not worry, because of the nature of direct entry. Remember, once you've accepted your offer, you have a guaranteed place on your specific program. You are going to be able to register absolutely for all of your required classes. So it's really not a stressful process in UCD once you are registering for your modules, because modules is what we call classes. The reason for this timeline, and very delayed timeline, the Irish timeline is, again, a lot slower and a lot more delayed than the US, or well, I was going to say North American or specifically US timeline, is because Irish students don't actually find out where they've been accepted, so what they're studying and what university they're going to, until about 2 weeks before classes start. So we need to adjust our timeline for all students coming in from around the world, just to make that a little bit more seamless for everyone, okay? And then, of course, you'll be moving to Dublin and starting class in September. Our key dates, or our academic term dates, can be found on our website at the moment, but it's really important to note that these dates are tentative, okay? At the moment, we are thinking, hopefully, classes will start for you in the fall, right around September 11th. However, they are still tentative because we don't know exactly when Irish students will receive their exam results. So it's important to keep an eye on that. And of course, if any major changes happen, we will be alerting you of these changes. Okay, so a little bit of fun. I know that was kind of boring, but really, really important information. We're going to be wrapping up this portion of the presentation really soon and heading into breakout rooms. But first, I just wanted to mention, we want you to connect with each other on social media, and specifically Instagram. So if you haven't already, go ahead and follow UCD Global on Instagram. Like this post that you see on the screen, the Are You a New Student to UCD in 2023-2024. Comment where you're studying, or sorry, where you're from and what you're studying, okay? Because we want to know, and this is just another way to kind of get noticed by your peers. So people who might be on this webinar right now and just building community. And then we are going to be monitoring these comments. So 5 North American students that comment by March 8th, so you have about 4 days, will be randomly selected for free swag that we will send you in the mail. So again, look for that post on UCD Global and comment with this information so you can start hopefully building some community and continuing those relationships in the offer holder events in person.